you hear something like that, people are going to say, oh, what does that even mean, right? Okay, I'm going to tell you. Basically, what I do on a day-to-day is I help big manufacturers or any manufacturer in any industry. I help them plan their transportation. So for instance, if you for anyone that orders stuff on Amazon, when you order something on Amazon, and as soon as you're about to click checkout, it shows you when it will be delivered, right? It shows you, oh, you will get this 5 o'clock tomorrow, or you will get this 10 o'clock tomorrow, or you will get this in 3 days' time. That is my job. I help on the back end. You will never see me, but I help the company like Amazon plan their transportation to the point where you're able to get the product that they sell, you are able to get it at the exact time they promise that you will get it. So, but you can see that the correlation is very different. Like that is how I can explain my day-to-day job to anybody. So, I help, manufacturers do that, by just helping them set up the structure, set up the service, and also helping them make sure that any product that they sell gets to their customer in good time and gets it to them in good quality. All right. Any other person that wants to jump in? Anybody? Let me go through the list. I know there are some tech people on this call. So, uh, well, I know drums and stones, drums and thrones. I know you're tech. So, do you want to go? Yeah. So, anyway, okay. I don't think there's any other person.
Yes, hello everybody. Good evening.
Go ahead.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay, yes. Good evening, Bumi. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Uncle B. My name is Kendi Ayobadijo. It's been a while I joined this platform. But it's good to be back here.
Yep.
So, in the tech industry, I do a couple of things actually. So, while I was in Nigeria, I started with IT support, where you do basic network infrastructure, installation of hardware and software, network cabling, and the rest of them. And after a while, I moved into the telecommunication industry proper, where I did 3G wireless network optimization. From 3G, I moved to LTE. I was in the process of moving to 5G before I actually relocated to the UK. So when I got to the UK, I found out that the way they do their telecoms there is quite different from the way it's done in Nigeria. It's actually advanced, and there's something we call SON, that's self-optimizing network. So their network is self-optimizing. So people like me are not really needed
Hmm.
to do the jobs here. So it's just technological advancement anyway. So I now moved into data analysis, data engineering, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. So though I'm yet to land my first role in the UK, but I'm actually preparing myself towards landing that. So hopefully in the not too distant future, I should be able to do that. But from the experience I've gathered in the past few years, I could function as a telecom engineer. I could even work at the network operating center. Then I could do machine learning. I could do artificial intelligence. I could do um, data analysis and data engineering, orchestrating data pipelines and the rest of them. So
Wow.
that's just me in a nutshell. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That's great. You see, I wanted people to just share that because I know different people are playing in different roles, and we're all in the tech industry, by the way. For those of you that don't know, so in Nigeria, then, if your 3G network is not, optimized enough, or you're complaining about, MTN network is bad, Glo network is bad, there are people actually working behind the scene, making sure all of those things are working fine. And you see what he said, getting to the UK, it's a different ball game, self-optimizing network. Now that means it needs to pivot into another role. But you're in the right place. I think there's just a lot of information that will be passed across today that you will benefit from. I have someone else that wants to share, but she said she's shy to talk, and so she's going to send me a voice recording, which I'm going to probably play by the end of the day. The truth of the matter is, I want people to see the human side of IT, the human side of tech. Like, how will your job, matter to the man on the street? Like, how will they understand it for those people that don't have, affinity for tech or anything? So they should be able to understand, how does that solve my problem? And I'm just glad that I have one or two persons that wants to share. So, any other person before we close out that session? Nobody? Okay, good. All right. Okay, so once again, thank you all for coming, for joining. I want to introduce the speaker of today. I mean, I cannot thank this brother enough for, first of all, accepting to even come on this platform to come and talk to us. The truth of the matter is, we value your time and we will not waste it. And everything that you share here today, I promise you that we're going to use it to the best of our ability. So I know you're ready for us, and I know we are also ready for you. All right. So Bro David Adediran is a data analyst. He's an accomplished data professional who is well versed in leveraging data for business decision making. His career spans significant roles in revenue growth management, big data, and advanced analytics. His experience includes working with eminent global brands such as Coca-Cola, where he combined technical expertise with practical application. He currently works as a Power BI and reporting lead for a UK-based global consulting firm. And I would like to add to the point. I know this one, they didn't tell me to say it, but I'm going to say it. But David is one person that I know, or I've heard, that got employed right when he was in Nigeria. Okay. So for those of you on this on the platform today, and you're in Nigeria and you think, don't ever think anything is close to you. There are opportunities that you can grab, even global opportunities. So please listen attentively today. I want everybody to react. If you can show your face, do a thumbs up, clap your hands, show the love sign, heart sign, whatever. And welcome, Brother David Adediran. We're clapping. A lot of them are clapping. You can't. You just can't.
I'm seeing the hands actually. I'm seeing everything.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Good evening. What an intro. Now I have to deliver. Well, it is what it is. First, thanks for having me. Thank you very much. I'm not as big as you've made me look like, but thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be a part of the community. And to be fair, I'm happy to have these conversations. So I have them in different ways and different forms. Throughout the year, really. I just finished a space on Twitter where I was talking about the different career paths in data. And this is the second part of that series. Sorry, my light is messing up, so you have to manage. Second part of the series. So yeah, this is something I'm happy to do. It's something I enjoy doing. And as much as possible, I want so many people to be on the levels that we want us to get to. Because come to think of it, the reason why people from like other ethnic minorities like Asians and Indians have so much presence, respect, dominance, control in these foreign countries is because they have people in places that matter. Until we start having people in places that matter, we will continue to play second fiddle. And there's only one way to get into places that matter. You need to have value. There's no magic. When you have value, people are forced to listen to you. Unfortunately, our understanding of value is slightly flawed as a people. We think value is money, relevance, and all of that. Not necessarily. But yeah, back to today's topic. data, how to land a tech job in the UK. I think I'll start by doing a quick overview of what the UK job market is like for those that are not familiar with it, or for those that are still trying to break in. The UK job market is a market that does not care about your university degree. I'll start from that. It's a job market that doesn't care if you have 14 masters. It's a market of what have you done? What can you do? Can you show me? I've worked with people that don't even have bachelors. They just went from A levels to ACCA, and they've been working in accounting for 10 years. No single bachelor's degree. And if you think about it, from the money angle of things, it makes complete sense. Because you spend 4 years in university, you rack up debt of like 20K. When you can just go for ACCA for maybe 8 months, 1 year, spend maybe 1/10 of that amount, and you get the same job without the debt. So it's a market of value. That's where I'm going. In Nigeria, we like papers, we like certificates, we like degrees. The UK, not so much. They value experience, proper knowledge. And even though we all like money, I always tell people that many of us have the equation the wrong way. Some people like go after money. It's not the right formula. If you go after value, money will follow you. That's why I tell people, don't follow money. That's a lazy way to approach money. You chase value, let money chase you. So you've basically made the journey shorter for yourself. Let money. It's easier when money is chasing you than you're chasing money, because you can never stop chasing money. So the moment you start, that's how you die. But when you chase value, let money chase you. Life is a lot easier that way. Cool. So the UK job market does not value, not like they don't value, but it's not a big deal having masters in so it's not a meaning. You don't really get me. What have you done? What can you do? Can you show me what you can do? Then we can talk. That's how it works. So yeah, just to start with that one. And secondly, in terms of the UK job market, for people that are trying to get jobs in the UK job market, it's like a 3-layer approach. The first step is when you apply for a job, if they think you have something, if they think you get a screening call, that's the first step. Someone from HR that doesn't really know the job just calls you to hear from you, talk to you casually. You get a screening call. If they think like, okay, this person sounds like there's something interesting here, then they take you to the next stage of an interview. You get an interview, then maybe another stage of interview, then you get the job. So there's a process. If you're sending out your CV and you're not getting a screening call, it means the CV is bad. That needs to be fixed. If you're sending out your CV, you're getting the screening calls, you're not making it to interviews, it means you're doing a terrible job on those calls. So you're not convincing the non-technical person enough to even give you a chance to talk to the technical person. So if you're not getting screening calls, the CV is bad. It means you're not even worth calling. So that CV is not working. If you're getting the screening calls, you're not making it to interviews, then it means there is something that is wrong in the way you are responding to those screening calls. If you're getting to the interviews and you're not going past the interviews, then in many cases, what me I've observed is most times it's not even that these people don't really know what the questions are, because answering a question is probably like 30% of the equation. So the correct answer is 30%. 70% is how you answer that question. It's not the content, it's the how. So there is a way you would answer a question in an interview room, and a stranger will walk in that room and they will not know who is interviewing you. So you can be the one they're interviewing, but there's a way you would speak in an interview room and they will think the interviewer is the person you're interviewing. There's a psychology to it. I don't know how to explain it, but when you go into an interview room, the onus is on you to own the conversation. It sounds crazy. It sounds stupid, but I assure you, when you own the conversation, you own them already. When you own the conversation, you show authority, you show commitment, you own them already. And I'll use myself as an example. My current job, I'm a Power BI leader. That's what I read out in the script. Before my current role, my Power BI experience, knowledge, was less than 6 months. Less than 6 months, my whole life. In fact, before my current job, I had never built one single Power BI report independently. Never. I've only edited people's work. And I went from that to lead for 2 countries. So what happened? It was talk. It was talk. I went to the interview and I spoke like someone that has done Power BI for 40 years. That's how I talk in interview. So it's not really about what you're saying, it's about how you're saying it. And if you can own the room, own the conversation, then there is no reason why they will not really pay attention to you. In fact, what happens is there's a way you answer a question that the person that asked you may even be doubting if the answer they thought was the correct answer is the correct answer. There's a way you can take control of that conversation. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's a psychology to interview. And you watch their eyes, their body movements, every single thing. Like you're on top of them like a hawk. You pick on every single signal they give you and you pounce on it. And when that happens, the power is shifting. Once the power is in your hands, you own the room, you own the conversation, you've won. That's how it works. My specialty is in data. I've flirted around with many parts of data science, machine learning, data engineering, before settling for Power BI. So what I'd say is before anybody decides to go into any particular tech career path, I would say you should just try different things. Just don't go deep into it. Just explore. Just try different tools, different platforms, try different things. People say eventually you choose, but I have a different opinion. I think something will pull you. I don't think you choose. I think something pulls you. And when that thing pulls you, then you just move towards it and you just accelerate. That's what I think. The problem with you cannot spend too much time flirting around or generalizing because when you learn too many things at the same time, you learn slower. So I'm learning Python, I'm learning Java, I'm learning SQL, I'm learning Power BI, I'm learning Excel. You are learning, but you're learning at a slower pace. But the moment you start to specialize, if you put all the energy into one tool, you accelerate a lot faster. So you can move a lot quicker. You can learn so much more in the same period of time. And so you're not distributing your energy. It's focused, it's precise, and you're just launching forward. That's why. So, but in the early days before finding that specialty, as I said, usually something will pull you. Something will pull you. It's not like you pick, you choose. Something will pull you, and once that thing pulls you, and you respond, then you just keep going. Just keep going. Keep developing. What else did I have on my list? Let me pause. Are there any questions before I carry on? I mean, I would love this to be interactive, free flowing, because I don't have like a deck or anything to present.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone has questions, if you want if you want to put it in the chat, as soon as I see them, I would it would take scheduled breaks, maybe after every 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and then we can ask our questions and we can go from there. So please, if you have questions, just write it in the chat. I will keep monitoring the chat and I can ask the presenter. Okay, no questions for now.
Okay, thank you. I'll carry on. So flirt around, try different things. Something will pull you. When that thing pulls you, by all means respond and just go full throttle. And just learn, invest in learning, invest in value. The money will come. If you're looking for money, even when you're in the process of learning and acquiring knowledge, if you're focused on money, it's a distraction. Because what would happen is you can take an offer that can derail your learning.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. When I was working at Coca-Cola, I was working in revenue growth management. I was analyzing Coke revenue for the whole of Nigeria. Nigeria is a very big market for Coke, by the way, in case you don't know. It's like, for my bottle, I was second largest market after Russia. So Nigeria is that big for the market. So I was analyzing revenue for Coke, and then my marketing director gave me an offer to join marketing. Very good offer, like really nice offer. But marketing is not in my trajectory or my plan. Yes, the money is good, but in terms of the path that I set myself, it's a distraction. I had to turn it down. I had to turn it down because I had my eyes set on a big data role. So even though the big data offer had not come, the marketing offer is in front of me. The money is nice, but it's a distraction. It's a very tempting distraction. And I had to turn it down. Not many people can do that. Now, what would have happened if I had taken that offer? I'll be in marketing now, probably. And I'm just there doing whatever they're doing. But I don't think my career will have accelerated the way it has. Because I will not be able to call myself, I won't be a data specialist again because I'm now in marketing. And if you think about it, why am I in marketing? I never wanted to be in marketing. I only went there because the offer was good. So I turned down the offer to focus on, like, I want the big data role. And I got the big data role. And from there, my distance has gone. In fact, the big data role is what gave me PR for Canada.
Wow.
The big data role is what helped me to get PR for Canada. All in Nigeria. all while I was in Nigeria. So if I had gone for the marketing role, one, I would have lost my part in data. I would have gotten more money in the short term, but I would not get the chance to get PR for Canada. So that's another thing I would like to touch on, that many of us don't know how to plan for the long haul. We are too instantaneous, quick. I want quick wins. Quick wins are good, but you cannot live your life for quick wins because they're not sustainable. They're not sustainable. So you need long range plans. You need to stay the course. In fact, that even makes the reward more fulfilling because you've stayed the course, you've paid the price. But if you're just doing quick wins, then they're not sustainable. Over the course of a period of time, your wins will be very confusing. Because now imagine me having awards in marketing, but then I'm coming to speak to you as a Power BI lead. I'm like, which one are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Do you understand? But if you see my career profile, there is a clear progression from one stage to the other, and it is connected. It's in sync. There's no I branched out and I branched in. It's connected in sync. So those are the things that a recruiter will see on my profile. Like, okay, I can see this guy went from being an intern. You can see me growing in the same line with focus and doing things in that same line. But when I was in Coke, I was promoted in 5 months. So normally they confirm me in 6 months, right? I was never confirmed in Coke because I was promoted before confirmation. So you can not confirm someone that you just promoted. So I was till today, I was never confirmed in Coke because for month 5, I was promoted. And so when you even work in places, when I wasn't earning a lot of money then, to be honest, but I did not care about money. Even today, I can't say I really care about money, which is a crazy thing to say. Because again, when you chase value, money will chase you. I don't even do salary negotiation or like that. I don't talk money. I have a school that I run, but even in my school that I run, the focus is on value. Like, are you guys fine? Are you learning this thing? Are you comfortable with this too? Yes, I want the money. I need the money, but I'm not going to keep talking about the money. Absolutely not. So I'm not a salesman. I'm not a marketer, but I am fully convinced in the value that I bring, and I'm fully focused on that. Same thing at my workplace. Same thing at my workplace. When I came into my job, I told you I had just 6 months experience in Power BI, and then here I am having to lead 2 business entities with what knowledge and experience from where? But that's the thing. Many times, you just think you're not enough, but who says you're not? What do you have to lose by applying? What do you have to lose? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. You don't have anything to lose. So I apply for director roles today in the UK. I don't need a job. I'm not looking for a job, but I actually apply for jobs almost every day. I don't need it. I'm not looking for jobs. I'm not unemployed, but I just apply for jobs like almost every day. I just use it to like just sample the market. Just like what's happening. Even jobs that I know if they give me offer today, I'll reject. I apply. Like I apply. So that's the way. And I applied and I got this job and I've been here for 2 years. And the learning curve was remarkable because from someone that did not really have experience. When I go on the job, it was tough. Don't get me wrong. It was very tough because again, I did not really have the knowledge. But that didn't scare me. That didn't bother me because as long as you give me the time, I will learn this thing and I'll deliver, which is what I've done. So if you believe in yourself, you are ready to put in the work, you're not looking for quick wins, it is way more rewarding than having those quick wins that are not sustainable.
Wow.
So
I have some
that's
questions.
my okay. Let's
Sorry
have
to
them.
interrupt you. I have some
Yeah.
questions in the chat, and I think I'll just read them out, and you can answer them. The
I have
first one.
1 second, please. Sorry. People, if you're not just housekeeping, can you please mute yourself? There's a lot of interruption. Aquila, please mute yourself unless you're talking. There's a lot of interruption. Thank you.
All right, thank you for pointing that out. All right. There is a question here. It says, how do I get a tech job from Nigeria? Where can I send my CV if I want to get a job in the UK from Nigeria? Then the follow-up question is, did you do the course in Nigeria and was it an online course? I think we need to structure this question in the sense that this is someone that is most
Nigeria.
likely in Nigeria, fine. Then the second question is probably in another, probably a newbie to the tech industry, right? So they're looking for much or less like an accelerated part in the sense that, okay, if take for instance, this person studied maybe zoology, let's use that as a typical example, and they want to get into tech. What would be your advice as to the structure? Where should they start from? Because I believe, I want to believe it doesn't start from like CV creation. Like you said, value. You have to have some knowledge, and then from there you go up. So what would be your approach with someone from without tech experience, non-tech person? You know.
Okay. So I have like a template answer to that I'll use.
Okay.
I always tell people to look for the bridge between where they are at the moment to where they want to be. And I say this because today I work in data, but I cannot wake up tomorrow and say I want to become a surgeon. That's a very radical shift. It's a very radical shift. But if I wanted to go into health tomorrow, I'll start by looking into health analytics because there is data there is health there. That's like a bridge. So from health analytics, I can gradually move towards health. So that's why I tell people to look for the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. So for example, for someone that is not from a technical background, maybe lawyer, mass communication, someone that is good with policies, communication, and all of that, there are fields in data that you can actually explore for that. There's something called data protection. Data protection, data governance, GDPR, those are not technical tech fields. They are policies, they are documents that you read, they are laws. They are completely legal fields in data. So GDPR is not a thing. There's no software for GDPR. There are laws by the EU and different countries that you have to learn, maintain, and guide your organization through. So data protection. So for someone in law, for example, that's a perfect bridge between the world they're coming from and the world they want to get into. For someone that is not in legal, so yeah, my first goal to be find the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. There's an intersection, and it's usually the easier part because then you're trying to learn something new, but you're not too far from what you already know. So your residual knowledge is still very useful. So that's the first one. That might not be the case for everybody. There are instances where the shift has to be radical. But then it means that shift will be more difficult. It's that simple. Where the shift is more radical, the transition will be more difficult. It's not easy, it's not impossible, but it will be difficult. You roll up your sleeves and you get on with it. There's no easy way, to be honest. There's no easy way. Easy ways are for quick wins. We don't do quick wins. If you want real wins, there's no easy way. You have to roll up your sleeve, put in the work, and get on with it. What was the other question again?
The other question was, was it a course that they have to do? Like, let's use Power BI, for example, right? Is there like courses that they need to get on? And how do they, of course, after getting on courses, they need to get some level of experience at least before, like you said, the UK market, it's what you can do. Show me what you can do, right? So
Yeah.
was it a course? Is there an internship? And all of that before they can start getting to the point of resume submission?
Yes, there are courses you can do, but I try not to talk about tools. Power BI is a tool, for example, because tools are tools. And tools come and go, tools change. So even when I teach data, even though I'm teaching you Power BI, I need you to understand what Power BI is trying to do, not just Power BI. Power BI is a tool. Businesses employ tools to improve processes. If you understand what the process is, if that tool was to change tomorrow, you will not struggle. But if all you understand is the tool, when the tool goes, you go.
Yeah.
Everything we are doing in Python today, 10, 15 years ago, we were doing in SPSS.
Yeah.
You use SPSS in university for your survey, your questionnaire. Nobody uses that again. So the tool has changed, the methodology has remained, but it's a different tool this time around. But if you understand the methodology of what you're doing, tools can come and go and you still be relevant. So in terms of courses, before you decide to do any course, please first and foremost check for the demand. What's the demand like? Is anybody looking for that course? Is anybody hiring for that course? As a matter of fact, if you search for a job on LinkedIn and you only get 2 to 3 pages, it means there's no demand for the job. It's that simple. When you search for a job and get 10, 15, 20 pages, yes, that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. So search for the demand. Let the demand influence whatever I decide to learn, because you cannot learn something because it's easy. If it's easy, it's because nobody wants it. If nobody wants it, then your learning is useless because nobody's going to hire you for it. So check for the demand. Where is the industry bleeding? Where are they looking for people? That is exactly where you want to be, especially as an immigrant. Especially as an immigrant. As an immigrant, you don't want to be in a market that is congested. The odds are already against you. So what are you doing there? Okay, so you cannot be an immigrant in the UK, for example, and say you're an admin person. There are thousands of admin people already that they will pick over you before hearing the sound of your voice. So what are you doing there? What are you doing there? So the field is not level for you. Don't let anybody lie to you. No, it's not. It's not level playing field. So you have to understand the peculiarities of your situation, and work with that. You can't say, oh, but this person from Scotland got the job. You are not the same. Don't let anybody lie to you. And I'm going to tell you like this: don't let anybody lie to you. But if the value is there, if you like, be from North Korea, they will hire you. If so, and that's why you cannot play in a field that is congested. You have to be somewhere where there are not too many people, so competition is a bit less. And usually the difficult things don't usually have too many people. People don't like stress. People don't like stress. People don't like the difficult stuff, and that's where you want to be. And also, that's where the money is. So there's enough incentive for you to do the hard stuff because that's where the money is. That's where your odds are better, and that's where you're from does not matter. So why not just do the hard stuff and be the person that they want? It's that simple. I was the only black guy in my job when I joined. I still am actually. I'm still the only person. I was the second guy on the team. Well, I mean, to be fair, because it was fully remote, so I did not really see like face to face. It's all online, it's all on Teams, so it did not really matter. But those things matter. Those things actually matter. Whether you like it or not, it matters. I did not realize how it mattered until I was on a call and I saw another black person. I was happy. I'm like, okay, now I understand what these people say. You know, when you hear things like all this diversity and inclusion, it sounds like what's the big deal? I did not realize until I was on a call and I saw another person like, oh, I was happy. I'm like, why am I happy? So now I'm like, okay, this is why I'm happy because I've seen someone like me. So that's where you want to be. You want to be in the places that matter. You cannot come from Nigeria and say you're an admin assistant. What's that? What's that? There are 10,000 of them outside.
Yeah.
That don't have to be smarter than you for them to pick them. Because it's a low skill job. It's a low skill job, whether I like it or not. So you have to be in the difficult places. You have to sweat. They don't like to sweat, so you have to like to sweat. There's a reason why they are going to Nigeria to pick nurses and doctors.
Yeah.
Those are the difficult jobs that their people will not do. So that's where you want to be. In terms of how I got my job from Nigeria, to be fair, I actually did not. Yeah, I got my job from Nigeria, but I had a visa, so it's not. Right. Yeah, but I can tell you of people that did not have visas that actually got jobs from Nigeria. Okay, and I'll tell you how. I did my interview in Nigeria. To be honest, even though I had a visa, let me tell you what happened. I was applying for jobs in the UK, but I wasn't getting any response. And I was wondering, what's happening? Something must be wrong. And again, that's another thing. When you apply for jobs and you're not getting a response, silence is also a response. So you need to pay attention. If nobody's reaching out to you, then they are telling you something. So I wasn't getting any response. Like something has to be off. Something is wrong. And then what I realized was there was a screening call process that I was not being part of because I did not have a UK number, as I was in Nigeria. So because I'm in Nigeria, they don't have a UK number to call me to do the screening call. So they just trash my CV. I'm like, okay. Now I understand what's happening. What did I do? Did I just cry and wait till I get UK? No. I went on Skype and I bought a virtual UK number.
Yeah.
I bought a virtual UK number. I was in Shomolu, I was in Lagos. I bought a virtual UK number and I put it on my CV. Okay, now I have a UK number. And all of a sudden, calls started coming. My network was not the best, but the calls were coming. Okay, we're still managing. Because his internet is virtual. Like, okay. At least now I know the CV is not bad. It was not bad. I was blocking before. So some calls were coming, some will hang on as we were talking because of MTN Glo, the rough arm. Then eventually, one of the calls I landed to interview. Okay, interview time. All this time, I'm still claiming I'm the UK, but I was in Nigeria. Okay. But because I had a visa, I wasn't too bothered. Like anytime I just get ticket and fly. So time for interview. I was in Lagos, I was in Shomolu. I did my interview in my room, my own bedroom in Lagos, my self-contained in Lagos. That's why I did my interview. With generator, all the noise, everything was happening as I was on that interview. and I was speaking my English. Even the Teams was even hanging, but it's a lie. I was talking my talk. We did everything, and I got the job. I had not stepped foot out of Nigeria. The craziest part about the job that I got was before I even started applying for jobs, I used to have a whiteboard in my room, and I wrote the exact salary I wanted to earn in the UK when I traveled. My friends then told me that I was a mad person.
Mindset.
I wrote the exact amount down to the number. Like I wanted £30,000 as the first salary I got in the UK. I wrote it like this is my target. And for the record, the average salary in the UK is 24,000. So why is a Nigerian living in Nigeria setting a target of 30,000? It doesn't make any sense. But that was my target. Like this is the first salary I want to get in the UK. And when I got my first job, it was exactly 30K that I got. It's not increased, but at least I met my target. And I sent it to those same friends. I said I was mad, and they were like, "Ha, this guy." In fact, the person that inherited my board still had it on the board. Like, guy, this is it. You said it. I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
And sometimes you say these things, you think these things, but other forces will actually align. It's crazy, but it will. It will. So let's imagine if I did not write that on the board, for example, I did not think about that. I did not even think about that. So basically, I'm just looking for a job. Okay, I'm just looking for a job. I'm just give me a job, just give me a job. If someone had given me 21,000 job, then I'll be very happy. I'll be very happy. But because I had a 30,000 figure on my board, at least I had something to negotiate with. I had a guide. Like, okay, when the job comes, I want to be in and around this figure. Luckily for me, it was the exact amount that I wanted. So this is an example of forces that I have no control over, that have actually worked and aligned in my favor. And it happened. And what I have a very weird, I wouldn't say it's weird, but every time I start a job, the first thing I do on day one is to determine when I'm going to leave. As I mentioned a job, I'm saying this is how long I'll spend here. And when it's time, I pack my bag and I'm gone. When I got that job, I said I'm not going to use more than 6 months yet. I told my auntie. So I said, why? I said, that's the plan. This first job is just to enter the market.
Yeah.
It's just to enter the market. Once I enter the market, I will find my way. And usually that's the hardest part, getting that first job. Once you get that first job, the rest is not always as crazy. So got the first job on month 6 on the dot. I told my manager, Ogade, I'm about to hand in my resignation. And I was like, he was just about to make me a senior consultant. I said, thank you, but hold it. I don't want. Said I was just about to make a senior consultant. I said, thank you. I appreciate it, but my time is up. I'm about to leave. And in 6 months, I left and I've been on my new job.
Wow.
So there's a lot of what happens around you or externally that deals with what happens inside. A whole lot. And even from I can't hear myself, but from the way I speak, does any part of me sound like someone that has any form of doubt, fear, or no? Like, even if today, I mean, God forbid, but if today I was fired from my job, I will sleep well because nothing tomorrow we did.
Yeah.
Like I'm that calm. Like no, I'm not saying it'll be easy, but no wala now. We did. So maybe we're the one that got this one. We'll get another one now. So that's my approach to life. Like I don't feel like anything can stop me. And this applies to everything. If I want something, I just go for it. Like whatever happens, happens. Especially when I'm even going into business, for example. I have a school that I launched in November. In November last year. I've trained over 60 students. And I've only done 3 classes. I've trained over 60 students. I've only done 3 classes. So why did I ever launch the school? It used to be free. I used to teach for free before. I used to train for free. I just used to train for free, like teach people for free for weekends. And then one of my friends told me how much he paid for a course one time, and I was mad. Like, what? You paid this amount of money for a course, and they did not really teach you guys anything. And that night, I built my website. The next day, I launched it. I built my website in one night. The next day, my website was live, and I started advertising. So when you put your mind to something, just carry on. Just carry on with it. It doesn't mean you won't lose stuff. It doesn't mean, but how I justify any action I take is the first thing I do is what's the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start a school. What's the worst case scenario? Okay, I'll lose money from the website and everything. Okay, what happened? Oh, I'll lose some sleep because I'm thinking I'm building website. And those are nothing now. Money and sleep. I can always get sleep and money now. And I just carried on like, damn it. And no regrets. No regrets. No regrets whatsoever. So
Wow.
and I was supposed to talk about data, but I think these other things are probably more important than the data. So because this can apply to any field, not necessarily data. So yeah, let me see. Is there any more questions before I...
Let me give you another 30 seconds to breathe. You're dropping a lot of nuggets, and people will probably think, oh, these are all the things that you need. Like you had mentioned, you had touched on mindset, you had touched on the power of will, belief, action, growth. You had touched on a whole lot of things that we've touched on this platform. You know, I also want to say that there are times when you mention the fact that when you're getting into tech, you need to try several things out and you need to have a goal. I also have like a similar experience. I did IT support courses. In fact, to the highest point, I did Computer Security Plus, CCNA, Cybersecurity, blah blah blah, Cyber Ops Associate, and all that. And then I landed the first interview with Kraken. Kraken is a cryptocurrency bank. And I landed my first interview with them, and they said, "Oh, you're going to be on the blue team. You're going to constantly be looking for threats and all of that." After the interview, before the interview was over, I told my wife, "I'm like, this is not me. I'm not going into this. This is not what I. It's not even pulling me in any angle at all, you know." And the first time I switched over to transportation management and logistics, it was just everything was just dragging me. Like I could be sleeping and they call me, ask me a question, and I'm able to answer. And I honed the room and I was like, okay, that's the part I want to trade in. And I went for it. I just wanted to say that, aligning with your goal, and even if there's something big that comes from it, like there's a big offer, because it does not align with where you're going, it will be easy for you to drop it. It will be easy for you to drop it. I have another question in the chat. It says, is there any age limit to learn? Can an older person who is not computer savvy learn? That's the second question. And then the next question is, there are too many online courses. How do you know the real one? How do you know the real one? So there's three questions in one. Is there an age limit to learn? Because we have older folks here offline that are also constantly asking us how to get into tech, and then, can any older person who is not computer savvy learn? And then how do you know the real most beneficial course out of all the online courses that are out there?
Okay. For the age limit one, location plays a big part. If you're in Nigeria and I tell you age limit doesn't matter, then I'll be lying to you. It definitely matters in the country of Nigeria. If you're outside Nigeria, then the likelihood of that having an impact is reduced. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist, even though the law says it doesn't, but there might be some bias in some places. But outside Nigeria, the optics are a lot better. Because legally they cannot deny you because of your age. Legally. In Nigeria, I don't know if there's a law that protects older people. But you can learn, definitely. I have someone that is over 50 that just finished a data engineering course. And he's looking to get into the industry. He's in the UK, so there is a chance. If you know your stuff and you can convince them that you know your stuff, they even if they don't hire you like permanent, you can get contract jobs and you even make more money on contract than permanent roles actually. So location matters for that one. So if you're in Nigeria, I think it's a tough battle. I'm not saying it's possible, it's a tough hill. Outside Nigeria, then the bias is definitely way less and chances are better. Which online course should you learn? So before you even choose the online course to learn, first, learning online takes a lot of discipline. It's easy to buy a Udemy course. It's extremely difficult to finish it. So online courses are cheap, but they are cheap because there's a very high chance you're not going to finish it. Okay, so it takes a lot of discipline to actually finish online courses. And I'm not going to tell you go and learn this particular course or that particular course, because all of them have their own relevance in some way or form. But what I would say is, before you decide to learn something, as I said before, check what the demand is. You don't want to learn something nobody needs. Check what the demand is. If the demand is substantial enough for you to invest in it, then by all means go for it. So yeah, check what the demand is. Check that it's something that you. So there's some personality traits that can actually guide your career decisions. It's just that we don't really pay attention to these things. So if I come out here now and say everybody here is a data analyst, you'll be wondering, why would I say that? Am I crazy? But now let me explain why everybody is a data analyst. You all go on Amazon to shop. When you go on Amazon, before you decide to buy a product, what do you do first? You check the reviews, right? In that moment, what do you think you're doing? You are collecting data, you are analyzing it, and it is informing your decision to buy or not to buy. In that moment, you have analyzed it. Before you choose who to marry, you dated for a while, right? You guys were talking, you're observing, you were collecting data. In real time, you were analyzing data. And when you decided what to do with that analysis, then you decided whether to date the person or not, or to marry the person or not. So in one way or another, you are collecting data on the go, you are analyzing data on the fly, and you are making informed decisions based on data that you've collected. So if I say, with my examples now, that we're all data analysts, am I wrong?
No.
No, I'm not. You go to the supermarket, you want to buy fruits, you want to buy tomato. What do? You check. What are you checking for? You are collecting data. You are checking if it's fresh or it's old. You are collecting data. It's not until you open Excel and Python before you start analyzing data. On your daily basis, you are analyzing data. You just don't realize it. Same thing with project management. Same thing with project management. You plan your family. You plan your family, right? Some of you plan your kids. You plan the spacing of your kids. You plan when you want to buy a house. You save towards buying a house. That's an entire project.
Yeah.
So you're managing projects already. It's just that you're not managing a business project. So there are parallels you can draw from the things you do every day to some of these careers, but because we just don't see it in that light, we don't know. You manage your finances, for example. So by managing your finances, you can manage the budget of a project because you're doing that already. It's just that they're not paying you for it. Yeah. So there are personality traits that you can look into that can help you to make informed decisions. Let me give you one final example before I close on that one. I build Power BI reports. I build Power BI dashboards. What I do is not very different from someone that does graphics design. Why do I say that? Think of your wedding invitation, for example. What do you have in your wedding invitation? The families of Mrs. A and Mr. B are coming together, right? What's that? That's data that you're presenting. Where are they doing the marriage? At also venue, location, date, time, right? That's data that you're presenting. RSVP, you put the numbers. So you are communicating information. That's what Power BI does. I am presenting data, except you are giving them wedding data, family data, couple data. Me, I'm presenting sales data, business data, region data. We are doing the same thing. So there are many things that you can draw parallels from that can guide what direction you should go. I like Power BI because I love colors. I used to be an artist. I used to paint portraits. As a gesture, I was painting portraits. So I used to be an artist. So it was easy for me to go into Power BI because the aesthetics is there. I have a good sense of lines and dimensions and geometry. So I eased into Power BI. It might not be the same for someone else. So someone that likes mathematics, statistics, Power BI will bore you. So you have to just look at personality traits, and somehow they will tilt you in one direction. And if you go there, something will pull you. Once that thing pulls you, respond.
Perfect. I want to go to this next question, and I want you to, for David, I'm putting you on the spot now. Just watch out for the traps. The next question, it's actually a very, very important question to not just the person that asked it, but to me and also to this platform. I know you've mentioned that you run a school. Let me just read the question and then I had my own. The person says, "Thank you for mentioning about your business. I was about to ask if you do, well, I was about to ask if you do have a business. Do you work with businesses for joint operations on opportunities? Can you drop the link of your page?" Of course, now Brother David has dropped it. davidade.tech. And that's his, yeah. Okay. Now, I want to add another question to that. I know you said you run a school, and we have on this platform, like during our mission and vision statement, you could see that we have a lot of social impact and community development projects that we do. Now, we have a whole lot of people in Nigeria specifically that we are trying to not only change their mindset, right? That's the first thing, but working on their mindset at the moment. The second thing we also do is we also empower them. When we say empower, we put them into that school and say, hey, go learn that stuff. When you learn it, then you can, that's value for you that you can start looking for job or looking to progress yourself in. So the two questions I have for you is this. One, what are the courses that you offer in your school?
Okay.
That's one. And number two, here comes the trap. What are you what is the village square specific joint partnership that you want to run with us so that we can fulfill this God's mandate? Another trap.
Oh, no, that's not a trap. That's a very simple question. But I'll start with the first one. What courses do I train? So because I'm the main trainer, my business is like maybe 7 months old. So we are not that big yet, but we've done a lot of stuff. So currently is mainly about data courses. And I'm only doing data because that's my field. So I don't want to lure people into something I don't understand, and then they get disappointed. So because I'm in my early days, I'm the one teaching stuff. So Power BI, Excel, SQL. Those are the things that I teach. For next year, which I'm starting to work on already, I'm actually changing my business model. So we won't just be training people. We will train you, but then we'll let you sit for a Microsoft exam. So you are Microsoft certified. So it's not that David taught you. No, David taught you, yes, but you've gone to Microsoft. Microsoft has confirmed that you know what you're talking about. So that's the model I'm moving to. And it's not going to be for just data courses. There'll be project management. There'll be Python. There'll be many other courses that will come on board. I'm speaking to the guys already, so the team is growing. But for now, on the website, as you might have seen, it's just Excel, SQL, Power BI for now. So your other question, partnerships that we can run. Oh, I mean, I'm very close to the village square, so we can definitely work something out. The other details can be discussed off the call. That's not a problem at all. I'm very happy to collaborate.
Absolutely. I have another question here. What a follow-up question to that? Do you have any current cohort or any running section right now for the rest of the year?
I have a Power BI course that starts on the 9th of July. There is a SQL course that starts in August, and those are the only two that I have for the rest of this year for now. Because now I'm going to talk some business strategy. The goal for this year is not even really about students per se. It's more about brand awareness, let people know us. So I'm not even aggressively selling this year because I'm not keen on the numbers. But let people know us. As I said, I was just coming from a space earlier,
right?
Where I have like an online data community where we catch up every week. It's called
Right.
Dear Data Enthusiast. I'm Dear Data Enthusiast. So the last week version had like over 900 people tuned in to listen. Over 900 people. I ran a free Excel course sometime last 2 months, I think, and we had like more than 750 people that registered. So in the vision of awareness, just pushing the name, that's what the focus was this year. So we're not aggressively selling. But yeah, if we have like other arrangements and other groups that we want to do, then sure, why not? It's not a problem.
Well, the next question is then, can we find, for a Power BI course that you're starting 9th of July, for example,
yeah.
Is there a way to get the the prerequisites that prospective students would need to have, or is it like one of those come and learn Power BI with no prior experience? You know what I mean? So is there a prerequisite that do they have to be bachelor's degree holder? Do they have to be 15 years old? Do they have to be 35 years old? You know what I mean?
As of today, there's only one requirement for all our courses: to be able to understand English language. Your background doesn't matter. Whatever experience you have doesn't matter. At whatever level you are, we'll pick you and we will train you. It's a reason why, if you go on the website, most of my courses don't really have an end date. and the end date is open intentionally. So if someone needs extra 6 weeks to learn, and we are convinced that they just need the time, they're putting in the work, they'll get the 6 weeks. Again, value. This is a very core part of what I do. Value. If you don't get value, then even if you pay me £1,000, I'm not going to be fulfilled. It's like a waste of money. So that's why the courses are open-ended. On average, they should run for 6 weeks. Very hands-on, practical, and just so you have an idea of what happens when you join my class. Just as you get like an email address when you join a university in the UK, it's the same thing. You get like student email address that gives you access to Teams, Office, everything, because all the learning is managed that way. So it's not like after every class we are sending a link. Okay, send link to join the class. No, it's all in your calendar waiting for you. When it's time, you just go join and crack on. And it's all hands-on. It's practical. So it's not, we're not doing define this, define that. I work on the job. Nobody's asking me to define anything. That's how I train. I train and I teach you what matters, not what looks cool or what to make the slide complete and full. So that's how our training works. All for complete beginners. All you need to do is to understand English, and we'll train you. We'll train you as long as you want to learn. We're going to help you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So the I just went on your website now. I see the coaching, mentorship and coaching is also included. I also see CV review also included, and I also see that we have I looked into the Microsoft Power BI right now. There's a special offer going on for £600. And you also, I also like the idea that you have the installments, installment payment included. So what we are going to do is we are going to, I know a lot of people that would want to benefit from this, and both in the UK and also in the UK, US, Europe, wherever they are, Nigeria, that want to benefit from this. We're going to throw out something. We'll talk individually with my teams here. We're going to reach out to you to see if you can give
let me tell you what will happen now before you even reach out. I'm going to create a Village Square discount coupon code that you can give out.
Perfect.
For any of the courses. Perfect. We can discuss the value later on, but if I give you the code, all you need to do is just to go on the website, apply the code, and they get their savings.
That's perfect. That's absolutely. Thank you so much for that. That's where all my stories is going eventually.
I'm more than happy to do that. Not a problem at all.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Now to round it up, I know you broke down something that is very, very key initially when you were talking, and you talked about how, I have a lot of people that when I speak to them, they look aloof when you talk to them about tech jobs, or when you talk to them about tools like this or tech courses like this or values like this, because they are not able to, in their mind, they are not able to pin the idea into what they do individually. And from how you broke it down to, okay, everybody on here is a data analyst. Now people are trying to pieces like, okay, I think I can do this because I'm already doing it on a daily basis. Now, my final question to you is this. For someone that is looking to start right now, do you have one or two communities that you think they can follow to someone that wants to join your next class now, for them to start having some sort of refresher or introductory courses in their mind to get an understanding? Do you have one or two of that you can share so that we can give it out to everybody?
Yeah, so if you're on Twitter or X, follow the handle right above my head. As a matter of fact, there are 2 recordings that actually speak to people like you on that handle, that breaks down what you need to know as to what value, how very non-technical conversations. Okay, so if you're active on Twitter, that's where I'll direct you to. Follow that handle, and you just listen to the recording of there are 2 spaces there. There's a part 1, part 2 that breaks it down for you. And one other thing I like to say is many people say tech is difficult. And they might not be completely wrong, but I think we downplay how much importance it is as to where you're learning from. Okay. Where you're learning from plays a very big part as to how your learning will go. So before you say something is difficult, because someone says tech is difficult, but I have seen you learn all the latest TikTok dances, and you can do them accurately.
Right.
So it's not a problem of ability. It's just how you're learning or who you're learning from. And also many of the courses online are not done in a Nigerian accent to start with. So you're learning from someone that has some sort of intonation barrier, whether you like it or not. If you're used to hearing me speak, hearing English spoken in a certain way your whole life, and all of a sudden you want to learn from someone that speaks it slightly differently, there's a lag. There's a lag because in your head, you still have to decongest what you've heard in a sound that you understand. So you can't measure it, you can't capture it, but it happens. And all those small things can impact the way you learn. So before you say something is difficult, be absolutely sure that it's not a problem with where or who you're learning from. And then, yeah, that way, because if you look around you, you're learning many other things easily. So why all of a sudden is tech the one that you cannot learn? I don't buy that, because most times the problem is with where you're learning from, but people just don't pay attention to it.
Thank you for saying that. So guys, a lot of people that we bring on this platform, they speak the truth like it is. And Brad David is no different. So if you know you are going to the course, or you're going to get our discount code and go to the course, expect the truth. And if it's going to make you uncomfortable, there's no point going on. Just stay and study by yourself on YouTube. Because the truth of the matter is, just from what you said, it's not a matter of ability. It's not a matter of ability. It's just a matter of putting in the work. And people these days do not put in the work. And we have said it so many times that as much as you don't put in the work yourself, you're not going to get a result that you hope to have. I'm going to open up the space now for people that want to ask you questions directly. I already see a hand. If you know you have questions, please just raise up your hand first so that we can do it sequentially, so people don't speak out of turn. I'm going to give Sister Funke Bello the time now. And then if you want to ask any questions at all, please signify by raising your hand on the Zoom. Yeah, you can do it via Zoom. All right, Sister Funke, over to you.
Good evening. My question is, thank you very much. My question is, for someone that has an accounting background, what would be an ideal like training to do to transition?
Very simple question. What in your accounting, what do you do? Talk me through what happens in accounting. And you would arrive at the answer yourself. What do you do in accounting?
It's more transactional, doing a lot of reporting in terms of using more of Excel.
Okay.
And yes, I in my last role I used a little bit of Power BI, which I could like correlate when you say, when they put you in front of Power BI, it was how to do such a colorful report. As for me, I only use it to download my reports, so I don't know the in and out of it,
Yeah. So in accounting, what you do is you actually analyze financial data. That's what you do in accounting. It's just that you don't see it as analysis because you're focused on the accounting and the book and ledger side of things. But if you do anything in Excel, you're already dealing with data in some form. In a way, you're dealing with data. So now you even said you've been exposed to Power BI, meaning you've even seen how far that data can go. So the easy answer to your question is, if you have any experience working in financial background, there is no reason why you should not up your game by going into Power BI. And I say this because I work with Power BI, but I work in finance. Finance is my biggest audience. They are the people that care about the numbers.
Yeah.
Those are the people that care about the numbers. Those are the people that care about accuracy. So you're already in the domain already. With Power BI, it just gives you more power, more leverage to do even more and ask for more. That's what it is. So it makes you more valuable within the same space. So you're in your comfort zone, but you're more powerful. So that's the easy trajectory I would say you should go for, because you're doing it already. It's just you're not doing it as a technical person, you're doing it as a financial person.
Yeah, because I don't have that broad understanding about it. So
Someone has to teach you.
in terms of your